Okay, thank you so much to everybody for being here today for Zach. Zachary William Jenson, his family. I know Bobby, Ralph, Jackie, and their families are extremely grateful to each of you for your love and support, to those who are joining us via Zoom as well. Thank you. Bobby offered a little family prayer just moments ago, and the song we just listened to is If I Should Fall Behind by Kevin Heater. We'll now have an opening prayer offered by Crystal Burtis, who's a cousin to Bobby.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful and honored that we can gather today and honor Zach, and we're so grateful for his presence in each of one of our lives, and we're so grateful that his memory will live on and that we can always remember him. And at this time, please put a special blessing on our families and the Jensons and McFarlands, that they can be comforted and they can find peace in this time. In Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Crystal. At this time, we'll hear from Andy Lundberg, who's a good friend to Zach, after which Ralph Jenson, Zach's father, will come forward and share a life sketch. Following Ralph, we'll have a special musical number, A Beautiful Boy by John Lennon.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Andy Lundberg, and I'm one of Zach's best friends. I'm grateful to Bobby and the Jenson family for the opportunity to speak today. It is with great sadness that I stand in front of you today to celebrate the life of my friend. Zach's life was taken away from us too soon, and it's hard to understand why tragic things like this happen to such good people. However, this is a question without an answer, and we should not dwell on the loss of our dear friend, husband, father, son, brother, and uncle. Today, let's celebrate his life and remember all the remarkable things Zach did and how wonderful he was to have in our lives. Zach and I met 17 years ago at the bowling alley during some friendly trash talk between his lane and our lane. Our two groups of friends went back and forth at one another for a little while until we finally decided to invite them to play poker with us. Zach and I bonded instantly. We both got jobs working at Zoomies in the mall and saved up enough money to eventually move down to Park City together. Quick side note I want to mention, we got a job at a fine dining restaurant, and they had a very strict dress policy: black shoes, black dress pants, black button-up shirt, clean shaven. Zach somehow managed to wear slippers for every day for an entire year until they finally made him wear shoes. Zach eventually moved back to Logan to finish school, and I stayed in Park City for the next 7 years, and we remained great friends. I will always look back on that very first winter in Park City with great and fond memories, and appreciate getting to know Zach so well. There's also a Mexico trip in there somewhere, but that's a story for another day. Zach started Jenson Lawn Services, a landscaping company, in 2017, and he put his entire heart and soul into his business. I could truly see the passion in his eyes when he talked about his business, and he was very, very good at it. Zach married the woman of his dreams September 22nd, 2018. And I was honored when they asked me if I would officiate the wedding. and it's something I will cherish for the rest of my life. On November 11th, 2019, Zach and Bobby welcomed an adorable little girl, Sage Elizabeth Jenson, into the world, and she was absolutely everything to Zach. I loved watching him play and be silly with her. Some of my best memories I have with Zach are, number one, snowboarding, obviously. Zach had amazing style on his snowboard. And we even had a little snowboarding game. Shout out to the North End crew. I'm still the only member that has the Annie Kate tattoo, but maybe Billy will do that. I also love spending weekends in the mountains, camping, or taking his boat out wakeboarding, or just quiet nights, just the two of us talking. And finally, these last 3 or 4 years, Zach and I have become closer than ever. And it's been an absolute joy to see him get married, start a business, and become a father. While the last few years have been difficult with his health being so up and down, I also think those years were the happiest for him. And I know he was proud of the family and life him and Bobby had built together. Zach was an amazing friend. He was caring, kind, and compassionate, and would do anything for the people he loved. He was also brutally honest, and I knew I could trust him with anything, and I respected him more than words can say. It's incredibly sad that Zach's life ended so soon, and I cannot put into words how much I'm going to miss him. Zach was a positive person and would not want us to be sad today. If you were here today, he would say, "Chill out, bro. Smile, and remember all the good times and memories we all shared." Even though Zach may be gone, his memory will live on in all of us forever. Zach, I appreciate your friendship and everything you've done for me for the last 17 years, and I will never forget you. I love you. Thank you. Oh, boy.
See everybody out there. Wonderful faces. Thank you all for being here today. Whether you're here in person, online, or in spirit, my family feels blessed for all the outpouring love, support, and kind words. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Zachary William Jenson, born March 17th, 1985, on St. Patrick's Day, to proud parents Jacqueline and Ralph William. Zach was grandson to Sharon and Raymond McClellan, Anne Marie and Ralph Lincoln Jenson. He started out 5 pounds, 13 ounces, and was 19 inches tall. He was born fighting to be alive. He would overcome this early battle and become the eldest of 6 brothers and 1 sister who would all look up to him throughout their years together. He was an uncle to Bubbers and little baby Zoe. May God rest her soul. He was Bobby McFarland's husband, and together they became the proud parents of Sage Elizabeth. Zach graduated from Skyview High School with many lifelong friends who grew up together and would all become great, outstanding young men and women in their own right. After high school, Zach attended Utah State University and graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Marketing. He would balance school with work, which was fairly occasional, as Andy could attest. He worked there. But did provide invaluable knowledge for future ambitions. Afterwards, he would chase his dreams to snowboard every day and enjoy life working and living in the Park City area. Throughout these years, Zach would continue to gain many new friends from many different backgrounds. He embraced everyone with openness and empathy and was honest with how he felt. Along this journey, he met his beautiful young bride, Bobby McFarland, and together they would have what is their little everything, daughter Sage. Our beautiful little Sage. She is Zach's legacy. In their brief time together, he would light up around her no matter how difficult it was for him to smile and show happiness. I have found myself reflecting on what her life will be like ahead of her. The parallels in our circumstances are profound. And so as fate is revealed, this has become our charge. We come to find ourselves learning life lessons and attaining wisdom from our own personal experiences, which we have the ability to pass on to Sage and help her navigate through the highs and lows ahead of her. This is where we have to honor Zach and face these difficult times together. I don't want to discuss the details of Zach's long battle with his health or the difficulties and challenges he faced every day. But as most of you are aware, Zach was a fighter. He began life fighting and was still fighting to the end. Zachary, my son, passed away on St. Valentine's Day, 2021. This is where we are. We are left with sadness and emptiness within all our hearts. All our memories and details of long gone eras are dredged up, and the immense and overwhelming sense of grief sets in and ravages our souls. Did we do enough? Did Zach have enjoyment through these last years? Did he have regrets? The answers to all these questions are yes. This is what life is. This is what is real. This is the suffering which we will all face. We will all take with us when our time has come to pass. This is God's plan. God has blessed us with each other to help overcome our enduring sorrow and finite time here on earth. God has blessed us to carry on through our legacy long after our time has passed. May God have mercy on all our souls. When Zach's only niece, baby Zoe, passed away, we asked ourselves, why did we lose her? What could she have been in an alternate destiny? Did we do enough? I searched for these answers through meditation and prayer. I looked to the finite fabric of time and space, the infinite stars and galaxies to which we are a part of. I looked at the quantum worlds where things of great magnificence and significance beyond our understanding or vision can occur. All of these things within our physical world change our perceptions of what is real. We cannot fathom the depth and expanse of God's plan. So my searching has led me to the virtues we can all appreciate and acknowledge as noble goals to strive for. Courage in the face of fear, temperance in the face of pleasure and pain, liberality with wealth and possessions, magnificence with great wealth and possessions, magnanimity with great honors, proper ambition with normal honors, truthfulness with self-expression, wittiness in conversation, friendliness in social conduct, modesty in the face of shame or shamelessness, righteous indignation in the face of injury. This was my darling boy, Zach. For Zach's brothers and sister, whom all feel the following sentiment. You knew me my whole life, and now I'm just supposed to carry on without you. For Zach's wife, whom wrote, my heart is shattered in so many ways. Unfortunately, the following words cannot heal our broken hearts, but we know this is the circle of life. And we are truly blessed to have been part of Zach's circle. Every day spent with Zach was a blessing, and despite our loss and sorrow, we continue to be blessed. I know this is true because I know we are born into love. And we are nurtured through kindness. And then pass these virtues on to our children. We as human beings can honor Zach and others like him who have made great impacts and sacrifices in our lives by continuing on with this circle of sharing love and kindness with each other. It is with this understanding that our soul-crushing grief from the loss of Zach, our son, our big brother, our grandson, our uncle, our cousin, our nephew, our friend, our neighbor, husband to Bobby, and loving father to Sage, will provide us some reprieve to our sorrow. This is how Zach would want us to proceed and continue on throughout our life's journeys. He'd want us to be together, and most of all, be happy to be alive, so we can continue sharing each other's circle of life. In the words of John Lennon, life is what happens to you when you are busy making other plans. So I want to share something. My wife, Jackie, had a dream shortly after Zach passed. And he came to her in a dream. And he said, Mom, I'm all better. They were wrong. They were wrong. Yes, Zach, they were wrong. You are better. Thank you all for your kind words, thoughts, prayers, and outpouring love. God bless you all. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Andy and Ralph. At this time, we'll hear from Zach's two brothers, Ty Jenson and Dylan Jenson, and they'll be followed by Bobby, Zach's wife.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out, showing your love. I mean, Zach knows me my whole life. I mean, he's my only big brother. And I looked up to him more than anything. I might not have showed it in the recent years, but I mean, I wrote down something because I really can't just talk right now. And just a little story I wrote. Growing up, I had the best big brother one could ever dream of. The brother who always had my back. The brother who always led by example. Maybe not the best example. But that's what made me look up to him even more. Josh Hamslick
My best friend down the street had a bright orange 1972 Suzuki Gaucho Enduro motorcycle. It sat in the garage, and for quite a while we would dream of being tall enough. At least I would. Him and Zach were tall enough. That's barely though. The couple times we had it going, Josh's dad drove it, and we sat on back. Well, one day we were there by ourselves. Me, Josh, and Zach. And we got messing around, and one thing led to another, and next thing you know, the old Gaucho was running. And Zach was confident he could drive it. And he was gonna do you one better. He was gonna jump it off the huge mountain of dirt that was in front of Josh's house. It was at least the size of a pickup truck. Well, me and Josh, we thought it sounded like an awesome idea. So we cheered him on with encouraging words, and Zach drove it towards our house, and everything looked smooth. He turned around with me and Josh cheering him on with excitement, and here he came, full speed ahead. In fact, I don't think he let off the gas. And right when he got to the mound of dirt, he gave it the last little bit of gas he possibly could give it. And there he went, looking like E.T. sailing through the air. Me and Josh's mouth wide open in complete awe. I think we both knew this wasn't gonna be good. And soon he disappeared behind the mound, clearing all the dirt, and ended up landing flat on the gravel and bouncing up to where we could kind of see him again. And then one more little bounce, and then the bike went down, and so did he. He got a little banged up, but nothing too crazy. I'm pretty sure that was the last time we rode the Gaucho. We were in a little bit of trouble when something got home. If that didn't teach me something, well, a few more examples definitely did. He got a paintball gun for his birthday. I believe, and for the first couple days, he would sit up in his room and just unload hopper after hopper of paintballs out of his window. Me and our little brother Nick thinking it's the coolest thing, and then it stopped shooting. Zach figured it was empty, and it turned back in from leaning out the window and points the barrel right at Nick's chest. Zach gave a little chuckle, thinking he's gonna scare shirtless Nick. And bam, he scared me, Nick, and probably himself the worst. Somehow there was still one last paintball in the gun, and blasted Nick point blank. Nick screamed so loud, and Zach tried to get him to stop. Crying and be quiet. He said he's sorry, but 30 seconds later, the door swings open, and their dad snatched the gun up real quick and didn't just take it away. He made sure it could never possibly be used again. I learned a good lesson that day. Don't point guns at people. Zach taught his siblings a lot growing up, whether it was examples like that or just killing the slopes, snowboard. He was the coolest kind of brother you would want to be. You would want to have. I regret playing heads with him as much as we did in the last 10 or so years. We could sometimes be ignorant as hell. And I most definitely I can most definitely be just as bad or worse. The only difference was Zach actually had reasons to justify what kind of behavior he was having. That's all I got.
Zach, our brother, our friend, and most importantly, our loved one. You made such an impact on everyone's lives that you met. You worked so hard for everything you had in this life and pushed yourself beyond what is even fathomable. You displayed so much resilience towards these last 12 years of your life. No one should have to go through what you had to go through. Although life is but a dream, life is impermanent and full of suffering. Zach knew that best. You were dealt with extraordinary health complications, but still managed to be such a great husband, father, brother, and owner of a very successful business. Your pain was shared among everyone closest to you, and that is what gives us strength today to accept the fate of this reality. So for me, I worked for Zach. I was his right-hand man, and there were one too many days that I was working on a job, and only to come to find at the end of the day that I did the job completely wrong. And so Zach would blow up on me, and I would take it so personally and just not really understand, but I did in the back of my head that Zach had so many things going on that we could only describe him superficially. And yeah, so he would get so upset at me at the time, but and I just thought he was just being an ass, just being the older brother, and he's my boss. So sure enough, by the end of each of those days, he'd make sure to call me up and tell me that he loved me. I know now that he had an awareness for what he was doing, and those thoughts would sit with him, and that's why he made sure to call me and let me know that he loved me. That was extremely hard to accept while working for your bro. I just got mad and almost rejected the condition or the state that he was in. It hurts to know that I won't ever get to see him again. Only through pictures, videos, stories that everybody has of my brother, of our brother. However, we can all rest assured knowing he is no longer suffering. I love you, Zach. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody that came out today. It really shows a lot. So, thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to start out with 10 interesting, fun things about Zach. So he could predict every ending to any movies or series. He just knew somehow, and I'll never understand. He loved to put things together. IKEA had nothing on him. He could be loud and intense, but also he could be very shy, sweet, and sometimes sensitive and empathic. He ate an Arby's roast beef sandwich every single day. He was an amazing bowler. He joined many leagues with his friends. He absolutely loved Christmas and the music too, and he created my love for it. He always chose to see the positive intentions in everyone around him. He resonated with Popeye the Sailor Man. If you know Zach and you think about it, you'll get the idea. Zach's food orders were so particular, you didn't mess them up, and you learned that quickly. He would always win every time we played a board game. He was so strategic, but he hated Cards Against Humanity because he would lose every time. Zachary William, the love of my life. I have to say how enchanted I was to meet you. I knew you were special from that very first moment. I told myself you'd be mine, but I knew you wouldn't be an easy catch. It only took me 3 years of chasing, then another 5 until you asked me to be your wife. Marrying you will always be my greatest victory. A lot of people may have only seen the side of us, our relationship where I cared for him, but not where he cared for me. One of the things that drew me to him was the way he carried himself. Confidence was never something that I had. I never believed I was worth being loved, and never in a million years did I think I would someday be a bride. But he showed me I was worth it all and so much more. He believed in me and how capable I am of doing what I thought was impossible. He helped me grow, and sometimes I resented him for that because he was always a little tougher on the ones he loved the most. But he truly inspired me to expand in ways I wouldn't have imagined. He is and will always be my guardian angel. I know that he lifted, guided, and loved me, knowing my potential, and that I will show Sage that strength, bravery, and love that he would have. Zach was very innovative. He wanted to own multiple businesses, a restaurant, a photography studio, a concession stand, a husky rescue. In fact, he went through a whole phase of wanting to rescue every husky. He would search for hours online to see how he could help. He was even in contact with multiple rescues through California. He wanted my sister to pick him up and bring him to us. I was usually trying to pump the brakes on his awesome ideas, even though it was my favorite. He truly believed himself and all those around him. He didn't allow anyone to hold him back, and he persevered so much. This especially showed through his health. I'm pretty sure it was him rallying up the husky pack a couple mornings ago. They don't howl just like that for anyone. Isis always knew when something wasn't right and he wasn't feeling good, she wouldn't leave his side. Tyan is the only one who matched his need for speed on the longboard. Watching the two scared the crap out of me every time. He actually started becoming known around town as the sled dog guy. You would be driving down Center Street and here comes Zach flying down the street with a huge smile on his face, riding behind the Huskies. It was the best. Zach, I forgive you for making me watch the most terrifying alien movies, for sending me through a panic every time you parked in the no parking zone or being a rule breaker, for making me do more leg lifts at the gym when I told you I was done, for decorating the house with Dragon Ball Z. I forgive you for being angry at your situation. It isn't fair, and you did nothing to deserve the pain or to suffer. We never doubted the love you had for us, and we know you're loving us more now than ever. One recent memory that's been standing out was at Sage's Alice in Wonderland themed first birthday party. When he arrived, he was dressed as the Mad Hatter. He came downstairs and everyone cheered. He was glowing, smiling from ear to ear. He fit the role perfectly, and his love for Sage on her special day was so apparent, and it was really beautiful. A few words to live by from Zach would be, everything in life can be related to a Seinfeld episode. While reading the news, you'll find out what really happened in the comments. If you would just hang your clothes up after you try them on. Who cares what people think? Not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. Zach and I's marriage was never perfect, and neither of us would have wanted that. We rode through many storms, chased many rainbows. We rose up, we fell down, and whatever it was, we did it together because of the love we shared for each other. We had many parallels between us, creating a mutual feeling of being understood. Our values always aligned, and the way we grew and dreamt always made intuitive sense to each other. I'm sorry for where I fell short and causing you any pain. I'm sorry for boring you with my astrology beliefs and making you come along to all the photo sessions, especially the one on Father's Day. You hated them every time, but you let me anyways because you knew they made me happy. I'm so thankful for that because they captured how truly handsome you are and how beautifully you loved and lived. Zach, I may have lost sight of you riding through the trees. You've always been so much faster than me, and this storm is a little scarier than the others. But I know you're still in here with me, and I'll catch up with you one day. I'll always be head over heels madly in love with you. And Sage will always know you'll be at every one of her tea parties, dressed to the nines, because you wouldn't have it any other way. We love you, Z. You'll always be our everything. I just want to finish with this quote I thought was nice that my niece sent me yesterday. What is grief if not the perseverance of love? And I think that's really beautiful. Seeing you all here today and all the many generous gifts, flowers, messages, and love sent in honor of Zach is so incredible. I really want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Also, White Pine Funeral Services for being so accommodating and supportive. Thank you all for being here today and those streaming live. And most importantly, thank you for loving Zach.
Thank you, Ty and Dylan. Thank you, Bobby. Your strength is admirable. Excuse me. At this time, we're going to have a musical selection. This song I know holds special meaning to Bobby and to the family, and references Zach's relationship with his daughter, the Sage. This song is "My Little Girl" by Tim McGraw.
As I let you go, I wanna tell you how much I love you. Though you think you already know. I remember I thought you looked like an angel, that looking so soft and warm. You've had your everything since the day you were born. Beautiful baby, from the outside in, chasing dreams that always come that'll get you again. Come on, take on this whole world. You were in trouble that couldn't stop. Build my heart strong. I look at you, I turn around and you almost gone. Sometimes you're asleep, I wish that I loved you. I have your door. As I walk away, I hear you say, Daddy, love you more. Beautiful baby from the outside in, chasing dreams will always come. That'll lead you again. Oh, take on this whole world, but to me, love will always be. He's the hand that makes you whole. He has a woman's soul and the heart of a man's man. I know he'll say that he's in love, but between you and me, I'll be good enough. Beautiful baby from the outside, and chasing dreams will always go. That'll lead you again. Come on, take on this whole world, up to me, love will always be my girl.
Before we conclude, I'd just like to point out to everybody on the back of the program, it references the website, zachjenson.com. For those of you who haven't heard, this website has been put together, and the goal is to compile memories of Zach for the benefit of his daughter, so that Sage, as she gets older, can have memories and experiences of his to review and to have at hand. So we would encourage you, if you haven't done that, to please do so, share pictures, share memories, whatever that might be. At this time, we're going to invite Grandpa Richard Miller to come forward and offer the closing prayer. And as he concludes, I'll hit play on a song that will be our postlude. I know how important it was to Zach, from what Bobby told me, to make his family proud, especially his mom. And this song is by Panic at the Disco. It's called Hey Look Ma, I Made It. So we'll invite you to sit and listen to that as it concludes, as it wraps up. That does conclude our services. You're more than welcome to stay and mingle and kind of be on your way when you're ready.
Our Father in heaven, as we come to the conclusion of these services, for Zach, we're grateful for the opportunity we've had to be here and to learn more about him, to hear of his accomplishments, his many characteristics which we have come to admire. We're grateful as a family. The fact that my granddaughter, Bobby, brought him into our life and made him a part that we could get to know him. And we're thankful that we had that opportunity and how faithful he was to attend all of our family functions. In fact, being engaged in our home, the two. We're thankful for the examples that he has set, and we ask that we shall not forget them. we're grateful that we will always be able to still see him in Sage, and for the many blessings that will be for each and every one of us. We ask that Bobby will be able to think clearly as she has and go on. And she has potentially a long life yet. And we're thankful that she has brought this little great granddaughter of ours into the family. And we say this and do it in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.